episode of The Watch List. We're now on episode 17, moving along. This series, I'm Jacob, joined alongside me, my co-hosts Chase, Christian, and Jagger. Jordan, unfortunately, couldn't make it today, but we'll keep going strong without him, so it's all good. As I mentioned, episode 17, so 16 episodes. If you missed any of them, be sure to go check those out. We've had a lot of fun, a lot of cool topics. Specifically, I'll talk about last week a bit. We did fan picks. So we had some people comment on our socials, give us some recommendations. We watched a couple of them, reviewed them, and broke them down. So if anyone's listening to this and wants anything reviewed or recommended, be sure to hop on our socials at the Watchlist Podcast. Give us some recommendations. Last week we did Great Gatsby and Goodwill Hunting. That was fun. We also did a draft of original songs made for movies where, in all honesty, I kind of fumbled a couple times, but it was really fun. A lot of good songs we talked about. So definitely be sure to go check that out. Um, but yeah, we'll start off the episode how we usually do, and we'll just kind of go around, check in on how everyone's doing, and then we'll get into it. Before that, I'll just also quickly, sorry, I'll say that today's topic is going to be the Mission Impossible movies. So, Final Reckoning is out. We haven't seen it just yet at this point as we're recording, but we're going to go see it and then put the review right before we're talking here. So you'll have seen the review, or actually, no wait, not yet. When are we doing the review? We're putting it after news. Okay.
Yeah.
So after news, you'll be able to see the review, but when we're talking about the rest of the franchise, we won't have seen it yet. So, yeah, just heads up for that. But we're talking about the entire franchise, one of the most consistent franchises ever. But now we'll get to how everyone's doing. So I'll start with Chase, who just showed up, had a long day at work. So how was work, man? How was your week?
What's up, guys? I did clutch up. Jordan, you suck. I did show up and show out today. Didn't think I was gonna make it, but Christian gave me a call and I delivered, so I figured I had to do it. Feeling a little under the weather today, so if I'm a little quiet or my energy is a little low, that's probably the reason why. Um, Big Knicks win yesterday. Had uh celebrated my birthday, May 24th on Saturday. Had a beautiful dinner with my lovely, lovely girlfriend Ava. Um, and all didn't think I was gonna get it done, but I caught up on the Mission Impossible franchise, so happy about that. And yeah, it was a pretty good week.
Where did you guys go for dinner?
We went to the Farm Italy. Um, it's I saw I think online that it's ranked, I believe, a top 100 restaurant in the United States,
Wow.
which was
Still alive.
insane. Um, it's an Italian place, obviously, and very upscale. They gave us a complimentary, Christian will like the sound of this, a tiramisu, which was great for my birthday. Uh, Highlight, if you guys ever go, make sure you get the meatballs as an appetizer. Meatballs in the house bread. Unbelievable.
It'll live up to that top 100 billing.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I haven't been
Wow.
to a lot of like crazy high upscale restaurants, but it was delicious. It really was that good.
Love Italian food. Anything else you watch besides Mission Impossible, or is that it?
I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, I finished The Last of Us, but I don't know if we're gonna talk about that today. I don't know if you guys wanted to talk about that, but I finished that last night, so
Yeah. Um, I wasn't really planning on. I didn't put in the rundown. If you guys want to, we can. Um, but yeah.
I mean, what do you think? Because I thought the finale was pretty fucking good.
We're all
yeah.
kind of similar on it. I think the rest of us. Um,
See, I didn't dislike it, but I didn't love it, and that probably sounds bad, but I think this episode aside, I think more so it's just a reflection on the entire season for me. I think that I was telling Schnur and Christian today, like a lot of the bad outweighs the good for me. But there are still plenty of great moments to take away, like especially the episode, what was it, 6 with Joel?
yeah.
Joel and Ellie. That episode was phenomenal, top to bottom. I loved it. So a lot of great moments, but I think a lot of it's overshadowed by some of my dislikes, unfortunately.
Yeah. I kind of agree. A lot of high highs, and I think also like knowing what happens kind of hurt the finale in a couple ways for me. Just like knowing what's coming. because some of the moments are like super shocking. So like, spoiler alert if you haven't watched Last of Us yet, I'll quickly say, like when you hear like the kind of rustling around in the theater and like they start sprinting to the door and I'm like, oh no, Jesse. I'm like, oh no, here it
Yeah.
comes. And like that's such like a crazy moment.
Dude, I was literally thinking, I was like, dude, Jesse's the man. Like he is a good guy. He is a good guy. Walks out and gets fucking dome pieced. And I'm just
Yeah.
like, great. There it goes.
Yeah. So Jagger, two things. Were you shocked when he was shot, or did you
Yeah.
kind of feel that coming?
I thought he was gonna be because I know because I mean, I don't know if I consider it a spoiler that Catherine O'Hara said that next season is gonna run through Abby basically. So I'm like, he's not good. Like, I don't think many of these people are gonna be really big parts of next season, but I'm like, this guy kind of like cemented himself as like a good versus bad in LA, like just like conversation. I'm like, he had a lot which looking back on it now, like he had a big episode. Him dying in the end, I was like, okay, cool, thanks. But I was happy to see Abby because not that I love Abby because she did a really, really bad thing, but I just wanted to see more of her, and I'm happy that like we get next season.
I know you're not a story mode game guy, but I really think you should play the game.
I can't. I just
I
can't.
think I really think
So
you
good.
should, especially with how much you like the show.
Can't do it.
She's incredible. I really liked Caitlin Deaver in her small moments. She was awesome.
Hmm.
Another, like a pet peeve quickly with like the Jesse, and it's like they do this in Andor too, and like they do it in a bunch of stuff. It's not just like shows or whatever.
Whoa.
Like when
We didn't even talk about Andor. Holy
Talk about
shit!
Andor.
Sorry, I didn't mean to
Like,
interrupt
I'll
you.
toss to Christian next, and I'm sure he'll talk about Andor. But I'll just say just when they do like a thing with a character where it's like they have a quick little like backstory, like sob story, like oh I have like this family, or like oh like I really love you and this and that. Like, you know, they have a little like nice moment, and then the next moment they're like dead. It's like you know they're gonna die because they gave them like their one little like nice character moment, and then it just leads right to their death. Like I feel like it's kind of cliche and annoying sometimes. I don't really like that trope, but
Like 1917.
it's fine. Yeah, kind of yeah. Yeah, so I'll throw it to Christian.
Wait, I think it fits
Yeah.
in here. It's part of the news. I just saw it was 55% viewership decline on this season finale since last season finale, which is crazy.
Wow!
Yeah,
Holy
That's
shit!
massive.
Yeah.
It's
It's a
massive.
hated show, man. Like
Mm.
look, I have problems with it. I think we all do, but like it's not like the worst thing ever. Like and people like act like it's literally the worst thing of all time. People did it with the
No.
game too when it came out.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I think people are gonna end up coming around like in a while because like whenever the game came out, it was like hated because of what they did, right?
Yeah.
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 My
So
roommate in college literally spoiled the game for me because he was like, "You're not gonna play this. It sucks." And
That's
then I played it. It's like the best game ever.
Jagger, are you in a studio right now? Because you're absolutely glowing.
That's
no,
what
I
I
got
said.
a light. My mom got me like a freshman year like lamp light. Never used it once. Now I'm using it.
It's awesome.
I said to him before we started, "This is the best lighting anyone's had on the pod so far through 17 episodes."
Got an extra one in the basement if anyone wants one.
Yeah. I don't know if one of you guys live here. Christian, I'll throw it to you. I mentioned want to talk about Andor or anything. How you doing?
Good. I got Chase sick. Unfortunately, I was sick the last week. I pretty much just grinded the Mission Impossible series this past week. I watched like 4 or 5 of them, and it was just a really fun time. Just watching them all consecutively was really cool. I can't wait to dive into that. I also, as you said, watched The Last of Us, Andor, and Rachel and I started the Sherlock Holmes series with Benedict Cumberbatch. I've never seen it. I was just telling you, Schnur, when we got lunch today. I watched the first episode and it fucking slapped. And I can't wait to finish the show. Jagger Chase, have you guys seen it?
No.
I didn't even know that existed.
Incredible.
I thought you were
Dude.
talking about like Robert Downey Jr. movies.
Yeah. I was gonna
No.
ask, is that the Robert Downey Jr. version? But I guess not if
No,
it's a
so
series.
this is the TV show of Benedict Cumberbatch, and Schnur, maybe you can touch on it a little bit more and back me up. But the first episode was fire.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's like it follows. It's like the you know the usual Sherlock Holmes characters like Sherlock and like Watson and like I forget what his brother's name is. But there's like a couple like the villains too. Um, Watson's a sidekick, but he has like a brother. I forget his name. But yeah, it's like all like the normal characters, but like brought into kind of the modern day, and it's like so incredible. It's
Yeah,
one of the better shows, honestly.
can't wait to continue that. Yeah. Other than that, super excited to see Final Reckoning tonight. So let's go. Let's go do that.
Yeah, very exciting. Jagger, you also had a an eventful weekend.
Yeah,
How
I was
you
just looking at my
doing?
phone because in my dynasty league, Jamar Chase just got traded, a blockbuster trade. So
What was the deal?
Jamar Chase in a third rounder for Braylon Allen, Jerry Judy, the 105 this year and the 114 this year.
It's a terrible trade.
It's a horrible trade.
I would never give up Jamar Chase.
Jamar
Never.
Chase is wide receiver top 3 for the next 8 years.
And was he like 25, 26, something like that?
25.
And
Yeah.
Braylon Allen's a backup running back. What are we doing?
Not if Brees is traded next year.
Yeah.
This year.
Cowboy after
Good.
Javonte Williams dies on the field. Wait, I don't. I take that back. If that happens, that'd be really bad.
We just
Okay.
hope he gets benched.
let's
Miles Sanders.
yeah, I had an eventful week or weekend. I didn't really do anything through the week, so I watched a lot. It was my first like full week back from school. So I was just studying for the CPA every day and then watching Knicks, of course. Um then I went away to Wildwood, New Jersey for the weekend, spent 3 days there. So my sickness that I have right now isn't the same thing that Chase and Christian have, but fighting through, very tired. But I did watch a lot this week. I just watched Love, Death, and Robots season 4 today. Not great. Um, the first, it's weird. It's like the first episode is literally just a concert with puppets. I don't know. It's cool, but it's interesting. It only took like 2 hours, so I watched The Last of Us finale, obviously. Ocean's 11, Schenectady, New York, which is fire. I'm gonna watch The Master next. I'm gonna try and go on like a Philip Seymour Hoffman like grind and like see what he's done. So Goodfellas, awesome, of course. Moneyball, Godzilla, and then I finished out with Fallout and Good and Dead Reckoning this week. So I watched a
Good week.
lot.
It's a good week. Is it Love, Death, and Robots season new? Like it's a brand new season?
Yeah, it just came out like this past week, and I didn't know about it until today. I was like, okay, so I'll just watch that. It's like I'm laying down. Doesn't really compare to the other 3
No,
seasons, but
not one good episode in there.
no, there's a few like decent good ones. Like there's one really good one, which is I think the third episode. The rest are just like interesting, but they're just not the height of the other ones.
It's fair.
Which Godzilla did you watch?
2014. I was feeling like a horror big monster movie and I watched a trailer. Godzilla has like one of the best trailers of all time. It looks horrifying and then you get to the movie and it's just not. So I was kind of disappointed, even though it's like my third time seeing it. So I guess I can't really just be disappointed from it anymore.
Mm.
I was literally on PlayStation with like Jagger and Jordan, and Jagger's like, oh, like what movie should I watch? And I'm thinking of like this. I'm thinking of like Sanctity, New York. I'm thinking of like these other things. All like I don't even like all just kind of different kinds of movies, and then doesn't even mention Godzilla. I wake up the next morning, you just like watch Godzilla. It's so random.
So random. Not a good move. I did not enjoy it. But
Good to know.
Fair.
whatever.
Yeah. Um.
Jacob, how was your week?
So in terms of me, yeah.
Thank God.
Solid week. Didn't really do much like internship wise. Only did a couple things remote. Didn't have to go in this week. Obviously I'm in a new setting right now. I am on Long Island. Came up for the weekend. Got to see Chase and Christian. I'll see Jagger a little bit later. Which will be nice. Nice seeing all you guys. Knicks are 1-for-1 with me here. But right now it's going Knicks because they just won. So hopefully that continues.
Yeah, a week from now, this could be a totally irrelevant, relevant conversation.
Yeah,
Or
it's
we're in
fair.
the NBA finals.
I'm 0
Yeah,
2 in
well,
New York, so
Get the
Great.
fuck out of here.
They got your back just in time for game 4.
oh,
Um, but yeah, solid week. I'm also kind of dealing with the sickness. Yesterday was pretty rough, honestly. But I'm all right and excited to see this movie tonight. In terms of what I watched a good bit. Mentioned The Last of Us. Um, Rewatched Sicario. I was scrolling through Netflix about to watch Place Beyond the Pines because Jordan's been recommending it to me. And I saw Sicario and I was like, you know what? I've been like meaning to rewatch this, and it was kind of like just like calling to me. So I threw it on. Like absolutely ridiculously good. Like I had it at 3.5, and I moved it all the way up to a 4.5. I think it might be my like fourth favorite Denis now behind like The Dunes and Prisoners. Like I think I have it above Arrival and Blade Runner, which is crazy because it was like I said, it's a 3.5, but it's fucking incredible. Um, finished Andor. Episode 10 was literally the best episode of TV of the year. I can't stop thinking about it. And then I watched Rogue One because of that. Pretty solid. Liked it a little bit less than I used to, but it's still like really fun. um, Finally got a chance to see Thunderbolts. Like I said, I'm here, so I got to use my A-list. Saw Thunderbolts. It was all right. End credit scenes are back. I said the end credit scenes were awesome, so that was cool. And I watched Reservoir Dogs with my grandpa while I'm here. He was having a great. He loved it. He hadn't seen it in years. That movie's awesome. And then I saw Friendship, the new Tim Robinson movie in theaters, which was absolutely fucking hilarious. It's like not for everyone, but I loved the show. I think you should leave. So I love the movie. All right. Anything else for you guys before we get to news?
Let's do news.
All right, Jagger, what you
All
got?
right. A good bit of news this week. I think I missed a few in the middle of the week, but first up, Cillian Murphy and Daniel Craig are in talks of starting a prison drama directed by Damien Chazelle. Awesome. Waiting for Damien Chazelle to like get back on and just like release something because Evil Knievel was rumored. I think it's still happening, but Leonardo is not a part of it anymore because he's doing Scorsese's last movie, so that's cool. Um, I
Not
don't
sure,
know
right?
how real this is, and I didn't want to waste my time to like research it. I saw a lot of talk about the Skibbity Toilet movie with Michael Bay directing it. I didn't even care to look up if it was real or not. Um,
I saw
I
like a teaser image. There was like a
I think I saw
teaser
a teaser
picture.
trailer.
You saw a trailer?
I think there was a trailer that dropped.
Oh god.
Unless if I saw a fake one like you did, Jagger. I'm not sure.
I don't know. There was like a poster or something, and there was something about how Michael Bay hates AI and it was fully AI. I have no idea. I just did not feel like wasting my time with that. More castings for Sunrise on the Reaping, Sunrise of the Reaping. Kieran Culkin as Caesar Flickerman, which is awesome. I haven't, like, I don't know. Have you guys seen like the meme of him being like, the odds are ever like forever in your favor? What the fuck? Like, I don't even know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I can't imagine him in the role, but I think it'll be fun. Doomsday has been delayed already to December 18th, 2026. So as of right now, this moment, we get Doomsday, which Messiah and Doomsday will release on the same day. But
What are your guys' box office predictions there? You think that they'll both just dominate, or you think that one or the other will flop? Not that Dune will flop, Dune won't flop, but like will one severely outweigh the other, do you guys think?
I think
Marvel's king.
Marvel will. Yeah.
Just based on the
But
fact that people were watching like however many hours of chairs like on a live stream, like I think that movie probably does the most.
yeah, Dune's gonna get delayed or moved back or up a week or something like that. I doubt it keeps the same release date.
Yeah. That's a tough break for Dune.
But we talked about this like when it first started, like when we first got the release date for Doomsday, like they started filming a year before they were gonna release it. It was inevitable to get delayed. Just
Yeah.
kind of sucks. It Welcome to Derry trailer, which that looks awesome. Big fans of it, both movies. So I'm excited to get back into Derry.
Interesting.
I saw bits and pieces. I didn't see the full trailer, I don't think, but
Mhm.
it looked interesting.
It's the same. Like it's just like it's a bunch of kids just trying to like solve these murders and
Like
this
a-
thing's back like it one.
It's like a prequel series, right?
Yeah,
From like what is
I,
it, the 50s?
probably somewhere around there.
Yeah. I believe so.
27 years he comes.
Christian, you don't like those movies, right?
The first one I liked. The second one I hated so much that I left in the middle of the movie in the theater.
No way.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
don't
I was like,
love it as
this-
much as the first, but like that's crazy.
I was like, this movie is trash, bro. I can't do it anymore, and I just left.
I have never gotten up from a movie mid, like from a movie theater mid theater, like mid movie. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what compelled me to do that, but now that I'm more of a movie goer, maybe I'll have to check it out again.
It's definitely not as good as the first, but it's okay. Zootopia 2 trailer.
Yes, sir. Yes.
What a weird trailer that was.
Oh, I didn't see the trailer, but Zootopia is one of my favorites.
Yeah, they released it's like some like mysterious animal in the back, like villain.
Ah.
So it was very weird.
Are you guys big Judy Hopps fans?
You know,
Dude, I
I've never
watched-
seen Utopia.
What?
Yeah.
I watched it in a class in high school, and then like before winter break, and then like when we came back, we didn't finish it. So I've never actually finished the full
No
movie. but
way.
I was like so locked in the whole time. Every day I was so excited.
This
to
this is
go
what I'll
watch it.
say. If you want horror, if you want comedy, if you want action, adventure, whatever you want, Zootopia gives it to you. It's
It's
that
good.
good.
It is good. Jurassic World Rebirth trailer. More dinosaurs. We're seeing more. I'm okay
Another
with it. Like,
trailer.
I don't care about like the slop that they're giving it. Like it's dinosaurs. We're gonna go see it. A lot of Christopher McQuarrie. That's how you pronounce it, right? With Dead Reckoning, Final Reckoning coming out, but Tom Cruise and him are in serious talks about a Les Grossman movie from Tropic Thunder. That would be insane.
They gotta bring Ben back though.
A simple
You have to have,
Jack
you have to have Ben, at least like have him involved.
Yeah.
is so good.
I think they're good
That's one
buddies.
of
to be
Tom
honest.
Cruise's like best characters.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Good one.
Also he's writing Top Gun 3 and he said he cracked the story. Like he knows how to do it. So
Tom.
no,
Fake
Christopher McQuarrie.
Oh.
That's
Tom will
insane.
be there. Tom will be there and Tom will be 65 when it's released, probably. So that's all I got because of the Last of Us thing.
He's still doing it though, man. Tom is still doing it, and we're gonna see it
Tom
tonight.
We're gonna
Tom
see
had a
it.
lot of quotes this week saying he wants to make movies into his hundreds, that he wants to just continue dominating putting out movies. He lied during the COVID outbreak to get movies made.
Sick.
He's gonna be like the Clint Eastwood of fucking action movies. The same character every one and just never gonna stop.
I was gonna
That's
say,
awesome.
do you guys want him to just be this like insane action star, or do you want to see him like go back into like kind of more dramatic roles, like a Magnolia or a Eyes Wide Shut type thing at all?
He's awesome in Magnolia.
For me, I want to see him in more dramatic, more diverse roles, and I think that he kind of alluded to that recently, talking about how he wants to do a musical soon. So that's
What?
That would be interesting.
Yeah. Tom Cruise specifically said I would love to do a musical. So we'll see if that happens.
Talks about Damien Chazelle getting back on the map. That'd be an interesting pairing.
Yeah.
He had a ton of popcorn lore this past week. Tom Cruise, it was so great.
I mean,
As a popcorn aficionado myself, it's so great to see.
yeah, it's good work, Tom.
I know you're gonna have a bucket tonight, Chase.
Oh, Jacob, I have a free bucket for my birthday, so they give you a free bucket if you're an AMC member.
Let's go.
That's perfect. Well, speaking of that, right here we're gonna insert the Final Reckoning review and discussion that we're gonna record after we watch it. So we'll be right back and do that. All right, we're back after just seeing the Final Reckoning. So we'll have our review here ready. Before we get into a full discussion of the franchise, we'll talk about that and give our spoiler reviews. We're gonna get into spoilers pretty much right away, right? Or do you guys want to go around spoiler free first? Spoiler.
Yeah. We could just get into spoilers here.
All right, yeah, straight to spoilers. Not talking through my mic right now because I've been having some technical difficulties, but I think we're all kind of like mixed. Like everyone has different kind of opinions on it. I'll start with Jagger. Jagger, you're the biggest Mission Impossible guy, I think, out of all of us. So what are your initial thoughts?
I'm a little disappointed. It just felt like a big tribute, like just wrapping it all up, and it doesn't really tie the bow too nicely. It's kind of like it turns into an Avengers movie. We added about 4 new members to the team, and I don't like that aspect. I don't think that's Mission Impossible. They were going to the last site, and they literally had to go in 2 cars. We don't need that. We didn't need that many people. There wasn't enough sacrifices, I felt. The Luther death was good, and it was early enough where we're gonna get another big death, and it never came, except for Gabriel, in a very, very weird death. He just fell out of the back of the plane. What did he say again?
He said only one of us has a parachute, and then he slammed his head into the plane.
Yes. Only one of us is a parachute, and then he slams his head and like cracks his head open and dies. I'll go my biggest good and my biggest bad. Biggest bad first is the callbacks and the montages of flashbacks. We don't need those. We're watching a movie series. We're on the 8th movie. You should be watching all the movies with, and if not, it's like it's on you. It's not like you don't need to have your hand held through and like walk through this like minutes of screen time was just flashbacks to what happened previously. The only one is warranted, I think, fully was the Rabbit's Foot and then Langley. But a lot happened and it was very in depth, and I just didn't love that. Talk about it for a second and then move on. Um, Biggest good is the whole submarine scene is my favorite thing now. It through one watch in the Mission Impossible franchise. 25 to 30 minutes of just Ethan going from going from the top of jumping out of his submarine, getting hit by another submarine, traversing down to 700 feet, and then just going through the submarine. It was actually incredible while it's rotating. Insane. So those are a couple goods and bads.
Yeah, the submarine was crazy. Christian, thoughts?
Yeah, I think this is more of a middle of the pack type of movie in the franchise. I echo a lot of the same sentiments as Jagger. One thing I'll say is they got very heavily like very much into like the US government and like politics and all that. Like not like real life politics, but like using the US government, and just like they added a lot of backstory with them, and I think it was just too much. And that kind of added to like the Avengers like level movie, and it's like there's so many like forces coming together, and it's just like I don't know if we needed all of that. It was a little bit overboard. The submarine part was definitely a top three part in the piece in the franchise. It was unbelievable. Um, I didn't love what they did with Ethan at the end. I would have liked to see maybe something a little bit more. Honestly, I would have liked to just see Ethan have died from the free fall. To be completely honest with you, I thought it would have been a really, really sick end off. Like he saves the entire world and then he dies without having the parachute. It would have been really cool, to be honest with you. Um, the only flashbacks that I did like was the very, very beginning when he's receiving the message, and as he's like receiving it, he's like thinking back to all of his memories, and it kind of takes you through like the seven movies. Maybe it was a little bit too much, but I did just like that a little bit. Um, but yeah, I don't really like didn't really move me too much the movie. Unfortunately, I wish I could have, maybe rank it higher, but initial thoughts probably in the middle.
Yeah, I'm like, like all your thoughts are things I exactly feel the same. Like I was like way too many callbacks and like montages. I was like it was just like a lot of that. And the side characters, like the one cop guy who Christian said looked like Josh Hart. Uh, that guy,
Yeah.
like, what was he doing there? Like that guy was literally pointless. Like, did not care about him at all. When he joined the team. Um, I really liked Pom Clementiff's character in Dead Reckoning Part One. I thought she was still cool, but like didn't really do enough with her, and they were like all apart for so long that I feel like the side characters like just weren't like Benji was barely a part of it until like the end. And honestly, like, Haley Atwell's character was like hers and Tom Cruise's relationship seemed so developed, and we like barely saw that. I just met in the last movie, and now it's like they're completely like almost like in love with each other, kind of it seemed like. Um, but like also like I want to sleep on it before I like give it a rating. I'm also with you guys. I think it's like middle to bottom tier, but we're sitting in the Dolby Theater at AMC watching Tom Cruise like hang off the side of a plane, like spinning up and down. He's in the submarine for 20 minutes, like you said. The whole like when he speaks to the entity, right? That's what it's called. When he speaks to it and it's like he's seeing like the earth like exploding. Like that stuff was all just so insane that I was like on such a high just seeing that in a movie theater. Um, so like right now I'm like really like I had a really really good time with it. Like I'm very happy, but I definitely agree with all your points. So I also I want to let it sit.
Yeah,
Um,
it was a lot of fun. It was definitely a lot of fun. Like it was a massive movie. Like so much happened. We were in so many different places. It felt just like so big, and like I think the budget was like what 400 million or something like that.
seriously,
Am I making that up? Let me see.
like crazy. It was huge. That was maybe like a little bit of a problem too. Like Christian said, like with the politics stuff, like it was just a little bit too big, and there was like the random like military characters like
Yeah.
that they just kept like throwing in like didn't care about any of them.
No. And I think
400 million. Yeah.
400 million, yeah,
Wow.
that's incredible. I think what this movie is good for is it does have top tier Mission Impossible moments. You guys were mentioning them, but everything in the middle was kind of just meh. One thing I did not like at all was throughout all the movies, you see the dynamic between Ethan Hunt and Benji kind of working together to go through their mission, and you don't get that at all. You know, they're completely separate the entire movie. There's no communication going back and forth, nothing. So you really don't get that, which was kind of disappointing. And obviously, killing Luther, you know, so early on, Tom or Ethan is, I guess, like using, like thinking about some of his words, but you know, he's not really helping him through the mission either. So you kind of have that disconnect, and I didn't really like that.
Yeah, they were apart for so long, and it was like, yeah, I think it was the fact that like they added so many new characters without really like developing them at all prior to like the final movie, and then like coupling that with the fact that all the characters we do know and love were like not really there, or at least not with him for like the longest time. Like when he was in the submarine, I was all sick, but then like I'm like all the stuff going on at the house with like the Russians and all that, like the fight was cool, but I don't know, it wasn't that entertaining or anything. I did like the wife. What was it? The guy's wife. She was like funny, but yeah.
I
Um,
hated the end of the submarine scene though. Like whenever he is like floating back up and like the camera rotates, unbelievable. But then it's just a fucking thirst trap with Haley Atwell, just her boobs on the screen, and then they're like in love with each other, like talking all this stuff, never kiss once. I'm just a little bit confused. And then we look up and it's just the wife's face like smiling at them. I definitely didn't like that. But I want to talk about like good things. Like I still had like a good time with it. Like it was still fun.
yeah.
Like the Mission Impossible moments, it is literally called Mission Impossible. And they've talked about how like we need one miracle, like we need another, like we need miracles basically. And like the odds are slim to none. And a lot of that happened this in this movie, and I love that.
How
It's
about
realistic. Like it's
yeah.
Mission Impossible.
Yeah, talking about the good at the end of the plane scene when the plane is literally upside down and the engine is off and it's just like flying through the air like that and they're just hanging. That was sick. That was awesome.
That whole thing, I felt like I was on a roller coaster. Like I was literally in my seat, just like holding on, like it was like a literal ride. And I was just imagining like what Tom Cruise is feeling in that moment, just like hanging off the side of a plane, just spinning in the air.
I would love to know what they actually did for Tom Cruise in the submarine scene, like what he actually had to go through for that. I'd love to hear about like the real life stunt and what they
Like
did.
almost drowned doing it.
I'm
So
sure.
I want to know.
He did.
I want to know like a bunch of. I want to just want to like look up stuff. Like we were talking about before, how much of the plane scene was real, like how much is just CGI, how much is there like a camera guy sitting on the end. So
Yeah. They yeah, the point where he like punched the guy out in the plane and then was just hanging on and it was like still flying through the air. I was like, there has to be someone in there because that's just crazy. Um,
absolutely wild.
yeah, Gabriel, I know Christian, you didn't like him in Dead Reckoning. Did you like him any more in this?
Nah, not really. I think I like the entity more than Gabriel, even though the entity is not a real person. It's just like the idea of like this AI like cyborg thing like taking over and just like sending nuclear missiles and ending the world. That's like the big threat for me. And I was telling them in the car, like Ethan can't get his hands on the entity, but the idea that the entity is like so smart and can outsmart him in this way and kind of like destroy everything that he's like built up. I think like that is like a good villain, even though there's nothing like physically material. But yeah, Gabriel doesn't really move me too much. I don't know. How did you guys feel about him?
Yeah,
Um,
he's all right.
I liked him in Dead Reckoning, and then I liked him in the first part of this. I thought he was gonna be like a big part of the story and just there a lot, but he was not on screen for like an hour and a half in the middle of the movie, and I was just like, does it even matter? He's literally just has like the poison chip. Like that's like all he has. That's all we need. Like it doesn't feel like we know he's not gonna win. Like it didn't feel like anything. The AI Um, the entity was definitely better in this than the last one, and I still enjoy the entity in the last one.
Yeah.
The opening montage and all that stuff with the entity showing Tom Cruise, all that stuff, like really elevated it a lot for me.
I agree. Gabriel, yeah, like I think you kind of hit it, like said it perfectly. Like he was there just off the screen the whole time and like did not really, like wasn't really a threat. The entity I liked a lot in Dead Reckoning just because I feel like throughout the like kind of like what you said, the whole franchise, like Ethan's been like matched like physically and mentally and like emotionally at times, but like he was never really matched like technologically. Like the whole crew wasn't matched like that, and they were like completely like overmatched in Dead Reckoning. Like him literally hacking into his earpiece and like pretending to be Benji and like messing with him like that was like so crazy, and just seeing how like they literally had no answers. And now in this one, they just kind of like did have answers, but yeah, Entity was still cool. Definitely like the villains in this franchise I feel like have like aren't that great overall. Um, but yeah, it was fine.
The one of the ways that they dealt with like the entity is like, oh, like this is the nearest submarine, and it also like the entity like can't reach it because it's like under and it doesn't use this like satellite or whatever it is. And I was
Yeah.
like, makes sense in the closest spot. And then oh my God, when he sent the coordinates and it was like it's on the other side of the world. It was on the exact other side of the world. And he's like, yes, it is. And he flips the coordinates. He's like, genius. I'm like, so the Russians wouldn't get it. You just got it in 2 seconds. I think the Russians would be able to figure it out pretty fast. Like if
Yeah,
you just did it as well.
Yeah.
yeah. Dude, for a second, I was gonna try to literally swim like through the entire like world, like like get to the opposite spot. I was like, what the heck is what is going on here? But
So what did you guys think of the send-offs for all like the OG characters? For me personally, like I think Luther's death was solid. That was fine. Benji, I don't love what they did with him at the end, and also Ethan Hunt, I don't love it, but I mean maybe like opens a door for even more in the franchise. I don't know. What do you guys think?
that was my first thought. Was like they might want to make more now, which I'm like, I don't know, because all the build up was like this being the like it's the final reckoning. Like the whole thing was the build up to this. And I even heard like when I saw his when they showed his parachute like open up on the floor, Jagger was like Jagger was like, damn it, or something like that, like next to me. Cause like I thought he was dead too. I was like, that's like as he's falling to his death, he like sacrifices his life and saves them. And like Benji also like on his last breath is able to like pull it off. And yeah, and it didn't like if they would have brought like if they would have saved one of them, killed the other, like maybe, but like they both just like kind of miraculously like made it.
Yeah.
Kind of goes in line with like the same kind of problems I had with like Fallout and some of the other movies where it just felt like they all just kind of came away like unscathed at the end.
I didn't get the playing it safe in the Fallout, like, but I absolutely do here. Like it's kill Benji, kill Ethan. I know Luther died, but Luther died so early. If Luther would have been there the whole time and then sacrificed himself in the end, it would have felt more rewarding. But Luther's death was good. It was good at that point, and then I just don't understand how he survived. And then I was like, when Benji was shot, I'm like, okay, like we're getting this, like this is gonna happen. And then as soon as I forgot what her name was, but she starts operating on him, he's like, he's gonna be fine. And
Yeah.
then the fainting thing was only used as a joke. Like I wish he like actually like fainted and like wasn't able to wake back up for like a little while. So
Yeah.
what's her name was able to just figure it out herself and just like guess. So
That was the whole moment I thought was still like intense. Like when it was like them in there and like flashing back to Ethan on the plane and like I was having a great time. Like that whole thing I thought was like so much fun, like the typical stuff where it's like, yeah, it's a little ridiculous and like obviously they're gonna come away like winning, but it's still like the way they build it up is like really good. They kind of build the tension well. But yeah, like I wish that Benji in that moment, like as you said, like he kept passing out and it was like, all right, like he's literally even though like she was operating on him, like she kept him alive enough to like execute the plan, but like probably shouldn't be surviving that. And then he just like shows up at the end.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I would have loved to see a little bit more of like the deception that we see throughout all of the Mission Impossible movies with the masks and Jagger, your under did hit. It was only
Yeah.
dude,
two.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Would
that
have
was
liked to see
wild.
more. Yeah, that was funny. We were like one, two, back to back. I was like, oh, this is smashing the over here, and then that's all we got. That was it.
That was wild.
Yeah, that's
That was
bad.
actually insane. Like, did they just forget about it?
I don't
I
know.
don't know. That's like my favorite part of the franchise too, is like the
Yeah.
espionage stuff. Like, that's why I love Mission Impossible 1 so much. Like I like the spy aspect of it. And like the action stuff is obviously like crazy and fun and cool too. But like I love when it like mixes that and still has that spy element.
I'm with you there 100%. And they kind of get away from it a little bit, I guess, but maybe they make up for it with the big action pieces, which they probably do. It is really good. So
Yeah.
just the blend of the two would be best of both worlds.
Talking about it more now, like letting out the feelings and like evaluating it, I feel like I'm coming down a bit. Just like obviously talking to you guys, I know you guys are a little bit lower. Um, Still had so much like you said, the action sequences, like I would go see it again just to watch the action sequences again. Like all that was just so much fun seeing it on the big screen. But yeah, there were like the in-between stuff was not as good as some of the rest of the franchise. Still a good movie though.
Here's my thing though. If this is the final movie, that's a bad send off for the characters. If it's not the final movie, then like whatever, fine. Like they'll have to have something else, right? Like there'll be a different send off, but they have to have some sort of plan in mind for these characters. You know,
I think that's it. I think that was their
if,
send off. And I
if
think
that's the send off, I'm not too fulfilled with Ethan Hunt's
yeah.
ending.
Like I like the Luther message at the end. That was good. Playing over the montage of like the president meeting her son again, which I wish we got more from him. I don't know, it was very random and just kind of thrown in there.
Yeah.
But the Luther was good, but then we have no heart to heart with Benji. Like they just look at each other and just walk the other direction. Benji's been there since the second movie, I think. I'm pretty sure.
The
And that's
third.
what we get. The third.
Yeah.
Benji's been there for so long and that's what we get. Like they just look at each other and just walk away.
Didn't like that.
Yeah, I agree. I also like the random like Nick Offerman like sacrificing himself and his death was like so bad. I thought like I was like,
So
all right, cool. Like they're kind of like I like they were like fighting over it. Like, what do we do here? Like it's obviously like a tough call. Um, but I think she like I agree that she made the right decision. She was like, we're not gonna do this. And then he's like, oh, but like we gotta save the country. And then like I like that like back and forth. And I'm like, all right, yeah, like cool. He laid himself on the line for her still, but like we didn't really get him like at all in the movie, besides just like popping in, like complaining for a sec, and then they don't even like really show him die. He just kind of like sits in a chair and and
He
closes his
lived like
eyes. Yeah, it was like Dark Knight Rises, like with
not good.
what's her name? Talia al Ghul.
Not good. And also like the those people were always so sweaty. Like all of the US officials were so sweaty. They were like you could see
ripping.
sweat just dripping off of them.
Yeah. Also, we didn't really talk about the submarine. Do we talk about submarine people? No, we didn't really like them.
No, we didn't talk about that. Dude, we
Yeah.
just keep saying bads and it's just like
Come on, let's talk about the good here.
It
what's
was fun. It was a
it's
fun
like
movie.
yeah, it's
The
fun.
pl like the things like we talked about the goods, but like the good like the highs were like few and far in between, but they were really high.
Yeah.
Like we talked about the submarine thing. We can't like I really like Jagger says maybe his favorite in the whole franchise. Cannot stress enough how sick that was. And you'll hear later, like on in this episode, Chase mentions that he heard like that Tom Cruise didn't have like a ton of screen time in this for whatever reason. Like he's on the screen for a straight 20 minutes. I think it was 20 minutes because like that was what Trammell Tillman's character says, right? It's like you have 20 minutes under there. I think it was a straight 20 minutes, like no dialogue, nothing, just silent and like him executing the mission. And it was absolutely incredible. Just sitting there like feeling the tension, like so immersive.
Stressed. Stressed during that.
It could have been
Yeah,
its own like short movie. That's how good it was, like within the movie.
yeah. It was incredible. And like oh just like yeah, him like taking off like the suit and I'm like, oh my God, he's actually like he's just like basically butt naked, like in freezing cold water, like 700 feet under the surface. and he somehow manages to make it up. But
Yeah.
third time we've seen him die and come back.
Yeah,
Three
that's number
times
three.
now.
And going back to our earlier conversations, how I was talking about how there's like a great chase scene in every movie. I don't know if there was a great chase scene in this movie, and that kind of upset me.
The
The
planes.
pilot, the
Yeah.
plane. That's Chase.
Oh, I'm talking about like on ground, like motorcycle or cars.
Okay.
The car got upended real fast.
Yeah.
That is true.
But yeah, if we're including the planes, of course, it was unbelievable.
Purely, obviously not the movie. I think we all agree Fallout's better than this, but helicopter chase or this plane chase?
Helicopter chase for sure.
Oh my God. Tom Cruise was a maniac, though.
Close for me, yeah. Dude, it's
Henry pulls out like a freaking machine gun, bro, like a death machine from COD Zombies, and starts spraying the other helicopter.
yeah,
Now might be recency bias. I would say this plane scene.
yeah. Maybe if I saw the helicopters in theater,
Yeah,
years.
crazy.
Like, this was just like, oh my God, I was like literally, I was having the best time watching that whole chase. Um, yeah, I think his death was weird, Gabriel, and it was just like only one of us has a parachute, and then he just clobbers his head into the thing, and like that was it.
By the way, after Tom's parachute went up in flames, how did he end up with another parachute? Like,
I
how
don't
did
know. I was wondering that too. I thought maybe like there was two in there. Is there a backup? I don't know.
He always finds a way. He
and
always.
also, yeah, and then Gabriel's
Death
also
beams are
like there.
pointed at the planet. I would take Ethan Hunt to shoot the three instead of Hunt. He would find a way.
He always finds a way.
Always.
It's literally a superhero. I mean, Jagger turned to me like Jagger said it's like the Avengers. He turned to me and said that like this is literally the Avengers right now. And I'm thinking like I would probably take Ethan Hunt up against Thanos over like fucking Iron Man.
And I
It would
would
be a good
find a
segment.
way, dude.
It would be a good segment. I would have to watch these other movies, but like, who would come out on top? Like an Ethan Hunt, a John Wick, a Jason Bourne. Like, which one of those guys would come out on top?
I'm taking
Ethan
Ethan
Hunt.
Hunt.
Ethan Hunt.
Dude, I think he could breathe in space without a helmet on. Like he's literally just insane. I want to see him go to space, kinda. That'd be cool.
Catania said Jason Bourne would mop the floor with Ethan Hunt. Like,
No, he would not.
There's absolutely no shot, dude.
Not.
Put Jason Bourne like in the sky and he's done. Just like
Oh my
get him
God.
airborne and it's over.
yeah.
You guys should watch John Wick 4 though. Watch that and then let me know what you think.
I'm going to. Now he says coming on Peacock.
It's already there.
It's already there. All right.
Mm.
I'll watch it this week then, and we'll talk about it next episode. I'll come back. All right. You guys have any other thoughts? Anything else you want to talk about?
The movie is better than what we're making it sound.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
we're just
saying.
we're being pessimistic. It might be because it's 1:30 in the morning, but we just got out of there. But like, I don't know. I guess it's just because we watched like so many movies building up for this, and it's just like happens. So like maybe in like I'll rewatch it in like a year, and then I'll be like, okay, it's actually better by itself instead of me just thinking of like this overall grand finale, like an Avengers Endgame level thing. I was literally thinking, you guys haven't seen it, but like Fast 10, I'm like, this is just a better, it goes Fast 10, this, and then like Infinity War of just like putting everyone together in one screen in one movie in one big build up.
While we're comping Marvel, Jagger, you see where are you at with this? Okay, we'll go with ratings. Where are you at with this?
I'm between a 3 and a 4. I don't know what I'm gonna decide.
Okay, because I was like, if you go 3.5, like, do you think this is better than Thunderbolts or worse?
Oh, this is way better than
I
Thunder.
think it's better than Thunderbolts for sure.
I think
I know
it's-
you were higher on Thunderbolts than us.
I think it's closer than what you're saying, but I think I just still prefer this because of all the action and all of that. But I still like Thunder. Like I think Thunderbolts was good. I might go 3.5. I don't know. We said so many negatives. I don't think I can give it a 4.
Yeah, now that's where I'm at now too. So I'm like, after like really speaking about it, it's like, well, but yeah, I I agree. Maybe
So
we'll sleep on it. If you guys want to give ratings now, temporary.
if I give it a 3.5, it would be at 3.5 with the first Mission Impossible, and I think I would put it above the first Mission Impossible. So it would come in at 6. 5. It would come in at 5.
That's psychotic, first of all. I'm just
I think
kidding.
I think I would have this at a 3.5. I would have to check my star ratings, but I think Mission Impossible 1 is also 3.5 for me, and I would probably put it slightly lower.
That's where I was like coming out of this, I'm like it's maybe around like Ghost Protocol territory for me. And I had Ghost Protocol at a 4. And then I had that I have to reorder my list also. After we talk about it later, like after the discussion we had that you guys will see, like I have to reorder my list a little bit, I think.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I think after speaking about it, I'm probably the same as you guys, like 3.5. Right there, like still good. I have it over MI3 for sure, which is the only other 3.5 I have. Um, but yeah, I'd put it like right above that probably. Um, yeah, it's
It's
good.
still everyone should definitely go and watch it. Like
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
a
definitely. Especially
ton
if
of
you're a
fun.
fan of the franchise. Like, how
Look,
can you not?
we got some good Ethan Hunt running scenes. We got a couple of
Oh
them.
There's some
yeah.
great ones.
When he
Yep.
was running, I was pumping my fist. I was so excited to see him run.
There were some great ones.
I actually think the first like hour and a half was very, very, very solid.
Yeah, I
And
think
I guess in the second half you get that submarine scene, but like the things leading up to that and then after that I'm like, eh.
I agree. It was like when he gets to like with the military and like the capture and like he meets the president, like from that point until the submarine, it was kind of like not my favorite. Like it kind of iffy there in that stretch. Um,
Luther's like a seasoned vet. What's he call himself also? He said it too, like a many maniac or something like that.
I
I
didn't
don't
pick up on that.
remember.
I don't know, he
Yeah.
called himself it a couple of movies ago and he called himself here. But like he's like a professional um bomb squad person, I guess you would call it, like disabling but disarming bombs. And the guy that's never done it before was able to do it in this like plutonium like big bomb. I'm like, okay,
Yeah,
why?
no, that was kind of weird too.
Miracle.
And they were like, of course, they were like, oh, actually, there's like a way, there's like a 10-second delay, so you can actually all make it out safe, and they were like all gonna sacrifice ourselves. It's
Yeah,
like, okay.
no way those two were running 10 seconds. I would say the cop was, but no way the other two were running 10 seconds.
Yeah, absolutely no shot.
Well, how did you guys feel about Grace? This is like her first like real go around with the team.
I said I like her, but I feel like we just got introduced to her last movie, and she didn't really become like a full member of the squad till like halfway. So we've really only seen her for like a movie and a half, and I feel like we were supposed to have this like established relationship with her in this one that just like wasn't really built up a ton, and it was kind of like rushed and thrown together.
Yeah.
Yeah, like almost like how he was with Julia in MI3, but that was like his wife, not like I don't know,
Mm.
a member of the team.
Yeah, she was great in Dead Reckoning. This she gives a good performance,
Oh
but
yeah,
her it just kind of feels like, okay, here we are. Like she's like a seasoned veteran on the team. I think they did that because they added so many new people to it. It's like, so we're still calling Grace a new person. They're like, no, we got to make it like she's been here and done this before and just like a part of this team and would do anything for Ethan. So
Yeah.
yeah. You also said Jagger like maybe in a year you come back and it's better on its own. I'm kind of like the opposite, honestly, which is also why I'm kind of
way
like
worse.
thinking a little bit lower because I'm like, yeah, like I said, I'm on this like high of seeing in theater. It's so much fun. I'm like, if I go back and watch this just like in my house, like on my TV, like probably won't hit the same as like binging them all in a month and then like for the first time and then going to see it on the big screen for the first time and all that. Like it definitely does make me want to like rewatch them immediately, honestly. Like I want to go back and watch the whole franchise again already. And I just
That's
did it like
insane.
this month. Um, but yeah, I think that'll be interesting to see like when I eventually rewatch it, like how it ages over time.
I'm just the stakes were so high in this movie and nothing happened with the stakes.
Yeah.
That's my issue.
Well, what did you in terms of stakes do you mean like nuclear missiles like actually
Like
landing at a place or like a key
possibly.
character dying?
I'm I think you have to think about it in both ways. Like literally, if they do not complete this mission successfully, the entire world blows up and they lose and the entity wins. Like obviously that's not going to happen. They're not going to have that happen in a movie. But they could have had like somebody die trying to do it, you know? Like I think Benji should have died 100%. And
I agree.
maybe Ethan goes out into like a retirement and you see like his more than a better send off than what we got for Ethan instead of just like walking into like the crowd of people, you know? And this is the final movie. There has to be more stakes. There has to be something else. I don't know.
I agree. And
I'll
I
stick.
think it's like Jagger said, it's felt much safer in this than Fallout. And I think it definitely is kind of worse in this than it is in Fallout. Because in Fallout for me, it was like more of like a thematically like I said, like it's supposed to be like the result of his risks and like bad things happening as a result of the risks that he takes and nothing bad happens, where it's like a personal thing with him, which I still think is like kind of like a problem for me. But in this, it's like you said, like literally the end of the world is on the line. Like the stakes don't get higher than this of like an AI taking over all the nuclear missiles and literally ending all life on Earth. Like the highest stakes you could possibly have, and like no one died for it really. Like just
Yeah. Just the
Luther
bad guy.
kinda.
Bad guy
Yeah,
died.
just the bad guy and Luther kinda like yeah, I think there should have been
Yeah.
way more
I
sacrifices.
I think that's a constant problem for me with like Hollywood movies, you know, like the good guys always win. And yes, that's fun sometimes, but I want to see a better story. Why do you think Empire Strikes Back is the best Star Wars movie? Why is Infinity War the best Avengers movie? It's because the bad guys win.
Yeah, I don't think the bad guy had to win, but like
Yeah.
but yeah,
Something.
but I get it. Yeah. It was like it's like
He's
a little
got to
like
take
generic
something
of just
from it.
like
Yeah.
they all win and they all like are like smiling at each other and
Yeah.
they're all best friends at the end. And
Not everybody's Peyton Manning riding off into the sunset on a horse, though.
yeah.
Also, Gabriel dropped like the worst uh title drop ever. It was like it just saying Final Reckoning in like the middle of a sentence and it
Yeah,
wasn't like built up at all. It just felt so bad.
They dropped it like four
he
times.
did.
I
That's
heard
what I got.
Reckoning. I heard Reckoning comes a couple times. I didn't hear Final Reckoning until he said it.
I think the entity said it too when he was like in the like simulation thing.
Okay,
Yeah.
maybe it would have been better.
I think so.
Maybe
And I
that was
think
part of the movie, by the way. That was so sick.
What?
what was
Like in the entity, like Jagger, you said it. It felt
yeah.
like Oppenheimer. That's
Yeah,
what it felt
Schnur looked over. I was thinking it, and then Schnur looks over and goes, "That was literally Oppenheimer." And
like. I was
exactly.
thinking the same
Uh,
thing. I was like, this is great.
yeah, that was crazy. That's
That
so
was
good.
that was so good.
Yeah.
That
And like the
was
seat was like shaking.
yeah. It kept getting louder and faster. It was incredible.
Yeah. All right, you guys have anything else?
I'm good.
All
No,
right. Solid movie. Sorry, Jack, you got something?
no.
Okay. Yeah, solid movie. I think we all enjoyed, but definitely as the finale of one of the most consistent franchises ever. Maybe a little bit disappointing. Definitely expected more coming off Dead Reckoning, but still had a ton of fun. Definitely go see it while it's in theaters for sure. Um, and yeah, stay tuned for the rest of this episode when we go into the rest of the franchise. So yeah, we'll be right back with that. All right, so that was our Final Reckoning review. At this point of recording, we haven't actually seen it yet, but we are going to talk about the franchise. We're just not going to include the Final Reckoning talk in this. We're just going to cover the whole franchise as a whole. So I figure best way to start is give each of our rankings. It's probably the hardest franchise to rank, or like one of the hardest. Um, I gave it a shot on TikTok. If you want to go look at mine, I'll talk about it a bit here, but you can go check it out at the Watch List podcast on TikTok. Give a full ranking pre the Final Reckoning. And I think we all have different favorites. I don't know Chase's though, so I'm gonna start with Chase. I know you've been saying this is hard for you, um, but do you have a ranking ready, or do you want me to go
I
solid?
don't have a ranking. I do want to say though that you guys are gonna have to refresh me on Rogue and Fallout because I watched them back to back, so they kind of blend together for me a little bit. Um, so yeah,
Sure.
I mean, I think we can all agree that the worst is the second one, obviously. So let's get that out of the way, right? I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
that's a given. But
But he has the best hair.
I
in that
think I think my favorite is probably between Fallout and Dead Reckoning, if I'm remembering Fallout correctly.
What do you
Alright.
remember?
I'll go to
Think
I'll
about
go to
this. Yeah.
I'll go to Christian, and then he'll talk about some of those, Chase, and then I'll come
Yeah,
back to you for
please.
another ranking. Yeah, so Christian, you can go.
Okay, I'm just gonna list it out. The worst Mission Impossible is Mission Impossible 2, like Chase said. We all know that. At number 6, I have Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol. So maybe one of the crazier stunts with climbing, what is it, the Burj Khalifa? Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nailed it
crazy
there.
stunt, but didn't love it. Didn't love the movie. Number 5, which might be a shock to Schnur, is Dead Reckoning. Uh, didn't love Gabriel as much as maybe the rest of you guys did. Um, also questionable choices with Ilsa and Grace, but we'll get into that. At number 4, I have the original Mission Impossible. Number 3, I have Mission Impossible 3, which in my opinion had the best romance and love story and maybe backstory as like a whole in it, with the introduction to his then wife. Number 2, I have Mission Impossible Fallout, which was phenomenal. I watched this one with Chase the other night. I would love to rewatch it because I know everybody, glazes. I think they call it the Halo scene when he jumps out, and I don't know. I didn't love it watching it. I was telling Chase that, but now that everybody glazes that scene, I would love to go rewatch that scene. And then number 1 for me, clear cut number 1 is Rogue Nation. I don't think anything touches this. I think it's the introduction to Ilsa. Maybe you guys can correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
It
But
is.
there's 3 stunts in particular that stick out to me, and I'm sure that we'll dive into stunts, so I'll save it for like an open discussion. But I'll let you guys give your rankings.
Rogue Nation, in my opinion, best action sequences for
Yeah,
sure.
100%.
Jagger, you got a ranking?
Yeah. I got at 7 the worst is Mission Impossible 2. It doesn't have to be talked about.
Yeah.
6, I have Mission Impossible 3. I didn't think this was a hot take. The three the 3 other ones love this. I do not love this.
Wow.
Can I ask you
don't know what it-
specifically, like quick, what you don't love about it?
I know. Okay, so Schnur says that the best villain in the franchise is Philip Seymour Hoffman, and I think he is so good, but he's just kind of like so downplayed and so underutilized to me. He's just another cog in the system. Like there's always like whatever. I just don't like that. I don't love the romance with him and Michelle Monaghan. I don't know what Julia. Um,
Really?
I'm just yeah, I know. I'm just not a huge fan of 3, and then I guess it's just really hot
I'm
take now.
shocked. Yeah,
I'll let
I'm
you finish,
shocked.
but if you're about to tell me that Solomon Lane is better than him, I'm actually gonna jump through the screen right
Solomon Lane
now.
clears him.
Oh my goodness.
Solomon Lane clears, but I mean, Solomon Lane had 2 movies to do it in 2 different like I don't know. I'll go into that later, I guess.
Yeah.
But number 5, I have the original Mission Impossible. Crazy that this released in 1996 is 2025. This has been going on for almost 30 years. Number 4 for me is Rogue Nation. Rogue Nation has some unbelievable stunts, but it's still great. I still have it like rated very highly. That and number 3, Ghost Protocol, are like a hair apart. It could flip them, and I really wouldn't care. Burj Khalifa is unbelievable. I love like the playing the 2 sides of upstairs and downstairs at the same time, and I think Jeremy Renner's good, and people think he sucks, but I don't.
Really? I didn't know that.
Schnur doesn't like him, right?
Yeah, he's all right. I like the backstory kind of thing with him. But I think that he's like kind of tries to be like quippy, and then like it doesn't really land for me.
That's fair. But I feel like that, I mean, with Hawkeye, like he's pretty.
Yeah, there's a scene in particular where he's like, I remember specifically where I think it's the first time they bring him in, and Tom Cruise is like if you're not with me, like speak up right now, and he does the thing of like, and then like doesn't actually say anything, and I'm like, okay, I was like, this just wasn't funny, bro.
I can't believe Ghost Protocol is rated that low for Christian though. But I mean, not even rated that low, just ranked that low, I guess. Number 2, I have Dead Reckoning. I had this at a 5 when I first saw it, and I still had it at a 5 on second rewatch, but this one I just dropped it to a 4.5. Um, the 3 like the airport scene into the car chase, into the running through the streets, unbelievable, and then
So
the final
good.
train. The train gets a little bit repetitive for me in the end, but that's fine. Everything in that is just so good. Number one, without a doubt, my 5-star movie. I need to check my list, like my top 100 list, but this might be the best action movie of all time. Mission Impossible Fallout.
Whoa.
Unbelievable. The Halo scene, Christian, I'm going to spoil it right now. That's my favorite scene or my favorite, I don't know, moment, I guess, in any of like the whole franchise. It's just unbelievable. The changing of the aspect ratios to this, like, unbelievable, just like him jumping, losing, like, all, like, when he gets struck by lightning or Henry Cavill gets struck by lightning or whatever it is, cuts out all, like, the sounds and he just started free falling. Unbelievable. And the same thing is to be said about the helicopter chase scene, the changing of the aspect ratios there. Me and Schnur were talking about it. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And Tom Cruise actually did that stunt where he fell down off that rope and slammed his back on like the payload that they had. And people were like visibly gasping. Like I was watching something behind the scenes. They were like, I think we just lost Tom. Like this man is insane.
Was
It's
this,
my favorite. I love Fallout.
like I said, some of it kind of gets blurred to me because I watched a lot of them back to back to back. But was this the one when he broke his ankle in real life?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jumping
Okay.
Fallout.
So he took a beating in this movie too.
Yeah,
Dude,
it's
yeah.
also the one with the bathroom scene.
Yes.
Unbelievable.
Fucking
That's
the
awesome.
Cavill
Yeah.
double fist, like
Yeah.
loading your arms is
That's
His biceps.
so awesome.
I think I
That-
have my ranking, by the way, for when we're ready.
Right. Quickly before I was just gonna say, Jagger, you think this is better than Mad Max Fury Road, Fallout,
Oh my god.
or
Wait.
Furiosa?
Well, I have Furiosa ranked higher than Mad Max Fury Road.
Okay, well, either.
Let me look at my
I
list.
think it's better than Terminator 2.
Absolutely.
Whoa.
I have
think Fury
both.
Road
I
is
have
just
both
so
Mad
far.
Max and Furiosa rated higher.
Okay.
Not
it's
rated
like,
higher, ranked
well,
higher.
that's awesome. But I have like Mad Max Fury Road is like my clear cut favorite action movie.
That's fair.
But Fallout is fucking money as well. Chase, you got your ranking now?
Yeah. A little discussion helped refresh me a bit, but definitely Mission Impossible 2 and last, like we spoke about. I think I'm in agreement with Christian on Ghost Protocol. I think a lot of it was kind of forgettable for me. So I'm gonna leave that towards the back. Then I'm gonna go with Mission Impossible, the original, I think. I'm gonna go with the original. And then I'm gonna go Mission Impossible 3, then Dead Reckoning, then Fallout. No, then Rogue Nation, then Fallout.
So you have Fallout number 1 also.
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. I thought you were gonna have Mission Impossible 3 much higher. I know you like
I
absolutely
mean, I
love
love that movie. Like, the movie's awesome. It goes to show how much I love the franchise. I mean, I can't believe this. I can't believe I've never seen any of these movies before. Like, I really can't. Like, with how good they are. Like, it's really crazy. Like, I wish I would have given it a chance sooner.
Yeah, I know. They're so good. That's why I'll run through mine quick, I guess, even though it's on TikTok. But 2, 3, I have Rogue Nation at 5. I know you guys have that much higher. I have Rogue Nation at 5. This is okay. So here's the thing. I have 2 at a 2-star, 3 is at like a 3.5, and then everything after that is 4 stars. So they're all like literally the same.
Yeah,
for
I feel like they're
everything.
all kind of interchangeable for me,
Yeah.
honestly.
So then it's like I probably have Rogue Nation because, like I said, best action sequences, but like everything else is like all right. I don't like Solomon Lane, but we'll talk about that in just a second. And then Ghost Protocol, Mission Impossible 1, then Fallout, then Dead Reckoning. But like those top 3 are honestly all like I could change those. But I want to talk about Solomon Lane Jagger, like because I feel like the whole time is just doing this. He's going like literally the whole movie, just making that face, like the whole movie. There's a part where they're on the phone with him, and they like I don't know, they like fuck with him, and he's like, I'm just like, it's like not threatening. I don't know.
But you don't think he's like a menacing like villain, like running this syndicate, and like even when he comes back in the next
I like him in Fallout. I say I like him a
Fallout,
lot more in
Fallout, he
Fallout
is
than in
better.
Rogue Nation. I think in Rogue Nation he's fine. I do love like when he gets introduced, and like the gas knocks out Tom Cruise and has like his hand on the window.
Mhm.
That's incredible. And then they like bring it back at the end when they capture him. I love that.
Awesome.
Um,
The
yeah, I
but
think-
when he gets fucking put put in a box at the end of the movie. Incredible. They're all on four sides of a box, just watching him, then
We
toss
are
him in
the
the
we are the IMF.
van.
Okay. Rogue Nation's incredible. Okay. We're gonna
Yeah.
get into this really quick. First off, it starts off with Tom Cruise doing that insane stunt, upside down, shirtless, climbing up the pole. Fucking crazy. Literally insane.
Yeah.
Literally insane. I know Jagger's like, yeah, I remember that. Yeah. Insane. Um, the water scene when he goes into the water has to hold his breath for 3 minutes, but I actually think he holds it for 6 minutes. I think they talk about in real life, which is just insane. He like he goes in there as Benji's going through the vault, and he has to like replace the security card, and then Ilsa's like kind of like helping him out in the back. That is the best stunt in the entire series. 100%. I think it's the most important stunt and the most important part of the series because that is the introduction of Ilsa and Ethan Hunt's relationship. They're like mutual trust, like both professional and also like that kind of like mutual romance that they have going on the entire time. That is the best stunt for me in the entire series. And then after that, Tom Cruise is also riding the motorcycle, which is the best chase scene in the entire series, where he literally goes all the way down to the ground and literally scrapes his knee in real life, and you can see him like pull back up because he hits his knee on the ground. The best chase scene in the series as well. Rogue Nation is the best.
The Dead Reckoning chase scene's better
No,
with
it's
Haley
not.
Atwell and then
Oh yeah,
how
the
they handcuffed
Fiat.
together. Yeah,
The Fiat is
No
incredible. It's so
way.
funny.
that's better. Rogue Nation, that's
I don't
an
think it's better,
incredible
but it's
scene.
funny. That is an
But
awesome scene.
yes,
I was gonna say that's another thing with Fallout too, where like they do another like motorcycle chase sequence, and it's kind of like repetitive, and it's not as good as the Rogue Nation one, I don't think. Which also kind of was like I was iffy on that in Fallout.
that's
Um,
fair.
I feel
That's
like there's probably a chase scene in every movie, right? Like every single
Yeah.
one.
like most of them, yeah.
I
Tom
feel like they're
Cruise
all kind
runs
of
everyone.
they're all kind of like formatted the same way, just done differently.
Yeah.
It's fair. It's
And that was
fair.
what,
If it ain't
like
broke, don't fix it.
But they're all great.
Yeah, why
Yeah.
yeah,
I
they're
don't
all
play
awesome.
I don't I
They're
don't
all so
disagree.
fun. I think for me, at least, like separating, like watching them, or taking breaks between watching them would have, I think, helped because once I got to the Macquarie ones, I was just like ripping them every night, and it got like a little repetitive because, like you said, it's like kind of similar, but like never didn't have fun. Like I was pumping my fist when like Ilsa shows up in Dead Reckoning, and um, yeah, uh, great Rogue Nation, um, opera scene too, Christian.
Didn't even point that out.
You point out the
The
opera scene.
scene with Ilsa sniping, she's got her leg up with sniping in the dress. Ooh. Oh yeah.
So, who's your favorite villain? If Solomon Lane's the villain from your favorite movie in the franchise,
My favorite villain? Yeah, I mean it has to be Solomon Lane, right? Like he's in two movies, like you said. I think I wouldn't say he's the most menacing villain, but he kind of gives me that like Grand Admiral Thrawn vibe, where he's like behind the scenes outsmarting everybody, and he's Ethan Hunt's like equal in terms of intelligence. Like he's always one step ahead of Ethan until Ethan is one step ahead of him.
yeah, he just wants to frame Ethan Hunt in like a Fallout.
Yeah,
Like he hates him that much. Like he just wants to frame him there because of what he did to his syndicate and all that. And the naming of the syndicate, the apostles, in
sick.
like John Arc is awesome.
It's awesome.
I would like to say that I think that the best villain is PSH, Philip Seymour Hoffman, because A, obviously he's an unbelievable actor. You know, round of applause for him as an actor. But to me, in watching Mission Impossible 3 and why I think I also enjoy the movie so much is because the stakes kind of felt the highest for me. I think like Ethan Hunt kind of finally found something that was very important to him. He got very close to someone, and like this was the first time where I felt like this was the first time that Ethan Hunt could actually lose. And I think a lot of that has to do with how Philip Seymour Hoffman like portrayed the character and just how menacing he was throughout the whole movie. Like I genuinely believed that she was gonna die like at the end of the movie. Like I thought this was gonna be the first time he lost.
I mean, talk about menacing. The opening sequence of that is like just
Yeah.
absolutely insane. Just like the where's the rabbit foot, like 10, 9, what. And then like when he's on the plane, he's just like who the fuck are you? Or he's like, I'm gonna fucking kill you. He's like, I'm just gonna fucking kill you. Like he's just so sick. And even like, especially when he's also like Philip Seymour Hoffman playing himself like as Ethan Hunt.
Yeah.
Like he's pretending to be Ethan Hunt like at one point like fighting against himself. It's just like so sick.
Yeah, I was never doubting his acting ability. That
Did
was,
you?
No,
So
yeah.
why are we doubting the third movie? Mission Impossible 3 is great.
I
actually
told I
have-
said, I just don't. Some of this it just doesn't work for me. A lot of the stuff.
Did you? Go ahead, Jagger. I'm sorry.
I was gonna bring it somewhere else if you wanna.
Yeah, I wanted to kind of build off of my point. Did you guys ever feel at any point that Ethan Hunt was going to lose while watching any of these movies?
Well, that
What do you consider
Yeah.
lose? Like, is Ilsa a loss? Like, does he lose in Dead Reckoning?
Yeah. I think
Yeah,
so.
yeah, I would say he loses in Dead Reckoning, but
that's why I like Dead Reckoning the most. I think.
yeah, but I'm saying I guess more so before Dead Reckoning then. Like, did you feel through 1 through 6 at any point like, okay, like Ethan is going to lose this battle?
That's well,
7
I think he's
movies
gonna lose.
coming out.
Well,
Yeah,
this- Yeah, go ahead, sure.
I'll say just like that's like my thing with Fallout is that I feel like, and I want to get to the name drops in a second too because they're also great. But they didn't have that great name drop of like the fallout of your actions and like Ethan Hunt finally like facing like the results of like everything he's done up until that point, and I'm like, oh shit, like they might kill Benji here, like they might kill off Ilsa because I didn't know Ilsa was even in Dead Reckoning. I was like, they might kill Ilsa here. Maybe even like what's her name, Julia, like someone's gonna die here and it's gonna be because of him. And it was like Alec Baldwin who was in like barely in Rogue Nation, like barely in that, and like I did not care about him. And like
They like
there was
don't
no
like each
follow for
other.
his action. There was like what is
Yeah.
that?
And they like don't like each other. I'm pretty
Yeah, there was no
Unbelievable
follow-up for
cameo,
his
by the
action.
way. I had no idea he was in the franchise.
There's so many. I want to talk about one scene, the Fallout scene where Solomon Lane captures Ilsa, and then Benji walks in. I think it would have been a 5.5, 6-star if Solomon Lane killed Benji in front of Ilsa in that scene, or if Benji actually died in front of like Ilsa, like from the hanging. That would have been unbelievable. And I noticed this because Schnur was talking because I saw Schnur's Fallout rating, and I was like, "What are we doing here? Why is this not higher?" And he was like, "Because it played it safe, and then they do better in Dead Reckoning by actually killing off Ilsa, who could not be dead." But
No way. I
Yeah,
actually freak out
I-
if I see her tonight. If I see her tonight, I'm gonna freak out.
dude, I'm telling you, there's a chance. There's a
Ilsa?
chance.
guy.
There's a chance.
She's dead.
There's a chance.
Even if it's in a
No,
dream.
dude, he was holding her lifeless body.
I don't know, man.
I
don't
wanted
know.
them together so bad.
Yeah.
Oh, I love them.
Wait,
So I
Uh,
noticed that there. I was like, that would have been like the perfect death. And my prediction for Final Reckoning tonight is that Benji's gonna die.
no,
That's what I think too. We're
no,
on
I'll
the same
actually
page.
lose my
So-
marbles if Benji dies.
I think me and Schnur also ditto that. I think we both think that Benji's gonna die.
I think it could be Luther.
Should be
I was
Luther.
gonna say Luther maybe. I think that'd be too obvious. I mean, either of them are kind of obvious. I don't know.
Maybe they both could die. Maybe like
Yeah.
you know how the whole thing, like me and Christian always laughed about it, but the whole thing is like Ethan Hunt just wants to protect his friends. Like
Mhm.
maybe he just loses like a bunch of his friends, and like this is his way of dying. This is his way of losing and having to cope with that.
Yeah, call
Final
me.
That's
Reckoning.
why in
Call
Dead
me
Reckoning, when he's like
crazy.
deciphering the thing, and like Benji comes out and says like, "My friends," like that's like the thing I'm scared
Oh
to
my
lose.
God,
Like
that
what
scene's
the
so
pictures
good
think of.
too.
That
Oh
was a
my
great
God.
scene. Yeah.
So good.
So go ahead, Schnur. I didn't mean to. I have a question
Uh,
for you guys, but if you want to elaborate, go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say just another scene in Dead Reckoning. That thing I love was when he like he says that how he's like your life will always matter more to me than my own, and like that's just like perfect. Like, that was just a perfect Ethan Hunt line. I just absolutely love it.
Great.
Sorry, fellas.
It's like,
I wanted to ask you guys. So I think that Schnur, me, you, and Christian are on the same page. Jagger, not so much, because he's given a 5-star. But I felt through watching these movies that like something was holding it back from a 4.5 for me, and even a 5. And I don't think you guys gave a 4.5 to any of these movies. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I did Rogue Nation after rethinking it. I'm like, this movie fucking slaps.
Okay.
I
I
think from
initially
top.
gave Dead Reckoning 4.5, and then I bumped it down after
Yeah.
seeing it. So they're all
So
from top to bottom, there's just I don't really know if there's many flaws in Rogue Nation, and I think on rewatch it could be a 5 for me. Like I love it that much.
So here's the thing, right? I feel like you said, there aren't many flaws with these movies. Like they're so fun, they're enjoyable, they have so many likable characters. All the villains are at least good, even if you don't like some of them more than the others. They're all at least good. So what is it about these movies that I can't figure out? And I want to ask you guys, like, why we can't make them 4.5, 5? Like, why are these not 4.5, 5 movies?
I mean, I think for me, the movies focus more on like really great action sequences over really great storytelling. And that's okay, because that's kind of what the movies are made for. But that's where I think for me, Rogue Nation comes into play, where you actually get the better storytelling and you kind of get the best of both worlds in that. So I think maybe from the other movies, like that's where it lacks. Maybe that's why I like a Mission Impossible 3 because you see Ethan Hunt's, I wouldn't say backstory, but like his personal life into like Julia's family and marrying Julia, and then like they can't be together, and then at the end he's got to save her. And that's what I really like about that one. But I guess I would say storytelling, really.
I kind of somewhat agree. Not like necessarily the storytelling's bad or anything, but like Christian mentioned, it's like very focused on just action, like they're action movies. And I think it's like, as for me, it's kind of as simple as that. Like I'm just not like, a huge action movie guy. I'm not like racing to see the next big action movie. This franchise is super fun, but like for me, if it's an action movie, it really has to like take it to another level, like creatively. And I think some of them, like the stunts are so awesome and creative and fun, but like I don't know, like I said, Mad Max Fury Road and like Furiosa, like that world and those action sequences and like how incredible that looks and those characters, like so unique and interesting. And I think that really like separates it as an action movie for me. Mission Impossible, like Ethan Hunt's amazing, the action's awesome, there's so much fun, but it doesn't quite reach that level, like just for me, like creatively, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I think you guys bring up valid points. Jagger, you only have one 5-star, right, for all of them?
I think the reason like I have a 5 and you guys don't, I think I'm less stingy with my 5s than you guys. I have 65 5 stars out of how many movies watched? 699 movies. Wow. Final Record is gonna be my 700th movie watch.
Big.
um I just like there is like I can rewatch that movie all the time. Like there's not really much like I can obviously dissect like little parts about it, but like I had such a good time with this movie. And it's just like there's so many elements that I absolutely love. And it being the sixth movie of the franchise, and I give the sixth movie of the franchise the first 5 star, it's pretty crazy. Like usually it's one of the early ones that you always give like the 5 stars to.
It's a testament to Tom Cruise's longevity and how well they've really been able to capture these movies over 30 years.
Yeah.
It's so
Uh,
funny how you can see how much he lives and breathes Ethan Hunt. It reminds me a lot of like Harrison Ford with Indiana Jones. Like that's like who he loves to play. Like you can tell that Tom Cruise loves to play Ethan Hunt.
Yeah.
Another incredible Ethan Hunt scene. I've been talking about this with Jaggers when he has the cop in Mission Impossible Fallout like pointing the gun at him, and he's like trying to like tell her not to shoot, not shoot. And like people come, and then he like saves her life, and then like or he like shoots her. I think right. Is that what happens?
No, the people pull up and shoot her,
Okay, and then he
in
like
the leg
saves
or
her.
something, and he shoots them. Yeah.
Yeah, after she was like just threatening like to kill him, and he's just like such a good person. Like
Yeah.
he's just the best. He's awesome.
Walk away, walk away, walk away.
He yeah, to your point in that scene, he takes out like 4 guys in like 3 seconds to save the cop.
They all have guns in their hands. They all
Yeah.
have guns in
He's
their
just like
hands.
boom, 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 boom.
So we still have some time left before we have to go. So I'm gonna get to a little bit of a debate segment. Um, and the first thing I'm gonna bring up, Jagger already kind of hinted at his pick, so I guess I'll start with him. What is the best moment in the entire franchise of Mission Impossible so far? Obviously, Final Reckoning not included, because as I mentioned, haven't seen it quite yet. So Mission Impossible 1 through Dead Reckoning Part 1, best moment. Jagger, if you want to talk about the Halo
Yeah.
again.
The lighting in that scene, the red, like the real timing of 2 minutes till take off, him and Cavill talking, Cavill just being like an absolute brute of just no, I'm gonna do there. You follow my lead, like you're here, and like unplugs like his oxygen, and they just go. And then the lightning strike, and then typical Ethan Hunt saving someone like who doesn't give a fuck about him, but just let him die, and then doesn't even tell him about it afterward. He sticks the landing on like the top of this crazy slope building. I think that moment is just so electric. It's so awesome.
Christian, you kind of hinted at yours too, I think, but
Yep, I hinted at mine, but it's definitely the underwater sequence paired with Benji walking through the vault. One thing I love about these movies is in every movie they introduce a new tech that they use for like their spy, whatever. And the underwater oxygen glove, like counting down his oxygen, was absolutely sick. And he's underwater to the point where he literally loses consciousness, and Ilsa has to go in and save him. All while if he doesn't swap out the security card, Benji also dies. So like everything is just so high intensity, and then Ilsa jumps in and saves him, and then she brings him back to life, and then immediately dips on him and like fucks them over in a way, and then it kind of leads into the car chase scene, which was just absolutely electric. But that in that moment, we pretty much really get introduced to, in my opinion, maybe that might be our next debate, but the best side character in Ilsa, and you also learn about more of like their relationship dynamic, and I think that's kind of like the beginning of that. So that's why I love it so much.
I love when they're setting that up, like that plan, and she's like, "It's impossible," and then him and Benji look at each other and they're like,
Yep.
"It's so funny." I absolutely love the name drops. Chase, you have a favorite moment?
Yeah, I'm a sucker for emotion. You guys know that. But my favorite moment doesn't come from an emotional scene from the franchise. It might be an obvious pick, might be the safe pick, the easy 1-1. But I think it's just as simple as Ethan Hunt hanging off the side of the cargo plane. I mean, knowing that Tom Cruise is actually hanging off the side of the plane, knowing that this aircraft is in the air and he's hanging on with, obviously he's, I'm sure, strapped in with, a cable keeping him safe, but like the fact that he actually put himself in harm's way to get that shot and that stunt and that scene done is remarkable. I mean, I feel like you won't see many other actors do that, put their body on the line to that extent. So I love that.
You know what's crazy? I've been glazing Rogue Nation. I didn't even bring that one up. This movie is just unbelievable.
Yeah.
Schnur,
Uh,
what's yours?
I honestly, well, I was gonna let you guys debate it out if you want, or we could talk about it. But personal favorite would probably, I would agree with you, the underwater. I think, and like the first person, like switch to first person as he's like literally dying, and it's like the second time he dies and comes back to life in the franchise.
Yeah.
So funny. Um, yeah, that's great. I would shout out because we didn't really talk about Mission Impossible 1, and I love Mission Impossible 1. And I think like when he's hanging down into that like room and the knife falls and lands there, and there's like the split diopter shot in the vent with Leon the Professional, Jean Reno, with the rat behind him, and like all the audio cuts. Like, we have to be super silent like right now, and then the audio cuts. It's just so good. I mean, it's absolutely incredible. And it's like
I
the
mean,
most iconic.
the whole sequence, like what were they? Were they in a casino in the first movie? Like the whole first 40 minutes of the movie are awesome. The first
Yeah.
movie,
Oh
just
yeah.
like beautiful introduction to the franchise. And one thing that I want to mention too that I love is the subtle return of like magic throughout these movies. Like it's so random where like like in Dead Reckoning, like when they have the key in one hand and then Tom flips his hand and it's gone. It's like I love it. Like they don't really go into that. They show it in the first movie and it stayed consistent throughout the franchise, like very subtly. But I love it. I love that they've stayed true to that.
You know, the other thing I love that's a through line is him being able to like read lips from far away. That's
Yeah.
yeah, do you guys have any like rebuttals for each other, like debates back and forth? Why yours is the best?
The only thing I'll say about the Halo scene is throughout the entire series, like everything looks very realistic, and then they're kind of like in the sky, and it just, to me, like it has to be CGI. It just doesn't look good. I don't know, call me crazy. Maybe I need to watch it again, but like when you're looking at the sky and the clouds and the thunder, I'm like, okay, like this might just be a little bit too ridiculous.
Yeah, I'll call you crazy. Rewatch.
Was
Rewatch
that real? Was that like did they really? I mean, I'm assuming he didn't obviously get struck by lightning, but like, were they really skydiving? No.
I think it was actually skydiving. I haven't looked into
Yeah.
it. I don't know why, because it's my favorite moment, but I probably should, but I haven't seen it.
It's a lot of people's favorite moment, so I don't really
Mhm.
blame you.
Good one.
But definitely have to rewatch that because I love the movie so much, and everybody glazes that moment. I'm like, why the hell did I not pick up on this moment?
I do want to talk about a least favorite moment, and it happens in every single movie. Um, the the title cards and stuff. that they literally like spoil the
They
movie.
showed the whole movie.
Yeah, like I look away. I'm gonna look away tonight. Like, I don't want to see it. I just
That
don't.
is annoying. I agree.
Speaking of worst moments, Mission Impossible 2 with all the slow-mos at the end, like in the third act, it's one of the hardest watches you'll ever find in a movie.
Dude, that villain in Mission Impossible 2 is so bad it actually makes the romance look incredible. Like he is the worst. Oh my god, he's so brutal.
He was
Yeah.
supposed to be. If he didn't do that, he was supposed to be Wolverine instead of Hugh Jackman.
Saw that.
Thank
I
God.
saw that.
Yeah.
So
And
garbage.
you know what's crazy too? I actually think the plot, like the story of Mission Impossible 2, is actually a good story. It's just not executed well at all. Like the idea of the virus breaking out and they have to contain it in some sort of way and then also get like the antidote. Like it's a really good story. They just don't execute it at all.
You don't like the slow motion car spinning on the edge of the cliff? Do you have a least favorite moment, Chase? I have one for sure. But
Least favorite. There's a lot to forget in Mission Impossible 2. I'd have to think of least favorite from that movie. You can. I mean, I'll try to think of one while you go ahead.
honestly, I think one of the worst scenes I've ever seen in a movie, but it's like funny, is in Ghost Protocol actually, which is a movie I love. But I've been mentioning how much I love the name drops. That one is actually the worst like I've ever seen in anything. Like the guy literally he like goes into a car, meets this random guy we'd never seen before. He just says like they've initiated Ghost Protocol, and then he's like, Ethan, you're my best friend. You were the best man at my wedding. I love you. And then he's dead. Like I was like, what was that? I was like, we're supposed to like care about him after like 2 seconds. And he's just dead.
That's awesome.
It was so dumb.
That's good.
It was funny. I'll give it that.
I don't know if I have a least favorite moment, but I will say I don't really love Kittredge.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't love him in the first movie, and then he obviously comes back for Dead Rec. Again, just didn't really feel the love. Is he a popular character? Like, do people love him, or is it just me?
I don't know.
Yeah,
Jagger,
I think he is popular.
I
I
think
like-
it's cool that they brought him back. Like I like the continuity. I like that. And whenever I get in like to something later, like I like the continuity.
I love that opening scene interaction with like him and Ethan too, and Ethan's like under the mask, and then he like knocks them all out and like reveals himself, and
Yeah, that was
the whole
crazy.
thing was so good.
What is your guys' favorite like spy gear technology throughout the movies?
Easy 101, the mask. The
Yeah,
mask.
the mask.
I think it's gotta be for like everyone. It's awesome.
Mine's the mask too.
I'll shout out Ghost Protocol for the that hallway like screen thing that they use.
That
thing
was
is
really
sick.
cool.
Yeah. Chase, you got
Yeah, the mask is an easy choice.
yeah,
I'm in
fair.
agreement
Yeah.
there.
The mask
Yeah.
is like the lightsaber of Mission Impossible. It's
Yeah,
awesome.
it is incredible. It's like the first thing they introduced too, like in that first movie. They like have the little interrogation scene and then he just rips off the mask. Just
It's funny
perfect.
too because when I first started watching the first two movies, I texted you, Jagger, and Jacob, and I was like, what are we doing with these masks? I was like, what is this? And I was like, how do we always just have a mask on hand? And Jagger was like, don't worry, they'll show you. And they showed me.
Yep.
So
The most
around.
reliable machine of all time as well. Breaks all the time. We were talking about the over under for masks in Dead Reckoning. I said it at 1.5, but I think 2.5 is probably a better line.
Like tonight, like for Final Reckoning?
Yeah.
Oh god.
Oh, I'm
You
taking
said
the
2.5?
over. Two
I
and
think
two and a
so.
I'm
half.
taking over 2.5 for sure.
Yeah,
Okay, so
Yeah.
should we
I
bump the line
agree.
to 3.5? Because you think there's gonna be 4?
3.5 is a better line, I think.
Three
All
and a
right,
half-
I'm taking the
yeah.
under.
That's a
Alright.
really good line. Damn.
I'm
Like-
taking the
I could see a lot of fan service tonight, like a lot of callbacks,
I'm
I
taking
think
just
the
like as
over.
much as they can.
I think there is.
I'm taking the over.
I'm sticking with the under.
All right.
I'll take the over also. I'll take the over. Rest in peace, Philip Seymour Hoffman. I would absolutely love to see him tonight. It's really unfortunate. But I'll quickly go. Last quick thing. 'Cause we talked about best side character. I think would we all agree it's Ilsa, or does anyone like anyone else more than Ilsa?
I like Benji best.
Whoa.
I
Okay.
think I also like Benji best.
Oh,
Whoa!
Ilsa?
But I think it's
I
close
think
though.
Ilsa's great.
I think it's
I think Ilsa-
close.
Yeah. I
They're
think
like the
Ilsa's
1A,
great.
1B for me.
okay.
But I am happier when I see Benji on the screen. How he just started off as like this behind the desk guy that was like risking his neck for Ethan and lying, and then goes into a field guy, and he's just so pure. And especially like I mentioned the bomb scene where he's like,
Dude.
my friends. He's like
Dude, the bomb scene is awesome.
Mountain is fantastic.
incredible.
Also, shout out another great moment we didn't touch on. Sorry, but and we're talking about Ilsa. Like when he's chasing for Ilsa, and he gets caught up in the alley, and he's like in between the two people in that like little alley. Just absolutely unbelievable. An unbelievable fight scene. So good.
Yeah.
And Ilsa, rest in peace.
Yeah. For me, it's Ilsa. I've mentioned it a couple times now, and I think mainly because she truly is for me Ethan Hunt's equal and his match, and on top of that, they have such a great like mutual professional respect for each other, where they, no matter what, like they're not working like with each other or for each other, but they always have each other's backs. And there's also that like mutual romance that they kind of both love each other in a way, but they never really are able to express those feelings for each other. I think that's such a great like character dynamic.
I have
Rebecca
one.
Ferguson could do no wrong.
I have one more over under for you guys.
All right.
Over, over under 1.5 minutes of screen time tonight for Ethan Hunt.
It better be over.
1.5.
Because
What were people? I forgot about that. What was the text you sent?
I don't know. I saw someone on Twitter say that Ethan Hunt only has like 2 minutes of screen time the whole movie.
It's
Someone is
impossible.
lying to their teeth.
So I wasn't happy about that. So we'll see.
Someone is lying. I've seen 2 minutes of screen time from the trailer alone.
Yeah.
That must be all.
If he does in the first 2 minutes, it'll be the biggest shock in movie history. Like that'll
Absolutely.
Terrible.
It would be the worst shock in movie history as well.
be it.
Another lead opening. I keep shouting out stuff. I keep forgetting. I haven't talked about the opening of Fallout with like the dream, and then like his face gets melted off. Is right when I saw that, I was like, "Oh my god, we're in for a fucking absolute
locked.
banger."
We're locked. I forgot about it, and I on rewatch. I was like, "Holy shit!" I was like,
So
"Ethan, do you
good.
take like?"
Yeah.
Oh, that's incredible.
All right.
Yeah.
Quickly, last prompt before we get to our picks for next week. Who is an actor? This franchise has a lot of really good side characters, a lot of good actors. We mentioned Philip Seymour Hoffman. I know Nick Offerman is in Final Reckoning, and Tillman, and we mentioned Rebecca Ferguson. Who's an actor that hasn't been in the franchise that you would want to see in a mission, or you wish was in the franchise, and who would they play? Could be a villain, could be a IMF member.
I got mine.
All right, Jagger, you
I would go Robert Downey Jr.
Dude,
go.
you suck for that. I was
Why?
gonna say that.
What a poll then.
Oh my god. Can I still pick that or no?
Sure. Cheap. Yeah. I think it would just be awesome. What I was mentioning about continuity, like I was thinking about it before, I'm like, if he was like a CIA director that like didn't have like a 2 movie stint, didn't have like a one like Kid Richardson's 1 and 7, Jeremy Renner's in 4 and 5, like he is there consistently, like trying to take down Ethan Hunt, like the whole time, like he's doing to Cillian Murphy and Oppenheimer, just constantly being there. And I think he's such a good he's such a good guy to play a villain, like just trying to take him out would be awesome.
I have two, so bear with me here.
Jumbo.
And you guys are gonna laugh. I have one male, one female. The male is gonna be Diego Luna.
I was literally gonna say Diego Luna playing Andor.
Yeah. The male is gonna be Diego Luna, and it makes perfect sense because he literally plays like a spy action thriller type of role in Andor, and I think he absolutely nails it. I don't know what character specifically he would play. Could be just like a Mission Impossible spin-off, or maybe he could play like a villain for whatever country or whatever. The other one would be would be Bix, Adria Arjona.
Are you kidding me?
I'm serious, and it makes perfect sense. And she's also now completely coming onto the scene. People are now possibly casting her as what, Wonder Woman, right? So she's coming onto the scene. She wants to play. I've like heard interviews. She wants to play these badass female roles. And then as I was thinking of that, I was also thinking of Ana de Armas playing that ballerina spinoff in John Wick. And I was like, okay, maybe this is like their equal. Like this makes sense.
She was great in Hitman too.
Yeah, she's good in Hitman. Come on, those are good picks. I know I'm like an Andor Glazer, but those are good picks.
That's a slurp fest right there.
Chase, anything? You said Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, Jagger hit on all the points. I'm not gonna be a broken record.
I was gonna say like, I mean, we talked about how I've said he's mid, but Matt Damon, like, did the Bourne stuff. I also like have him come back and do some like spy stuff. That'd be kind of cool. But I'm trying to think. I can't really think of someone right now. But I mentioned I really want like an Ilsa spin-off of her time with like the British like agencies. I think that'd be so much fun. And I'm trying to think of like someone that could be good to bring into that. I can't think of one right
James
now.
Bond, Daniel
Someone
Craig.
British. James Bond. Daniel Craig is gonna be my pick. No. Actually, low key, Josh O'Connor. Bring in Josh O'Connor to go alongside her. I think that'd be really fun. He's like everyone's fan cast for everything nowadays, but that'd be cool. All right.
Him or Aaron Taylor Johnson, always.
Yet I feel like I feel like he's never in anything.
Everything.
It's got a movie coming out with Paul Mescal. Josh O'Connor, at least. All right. Good convo. Great franchise. Super excited to see this movie, Final Reckoning. Absolutely fantastic. I'm so happy that we got to watch it and that Jagger put us on. But now we'll get to our picks for next week. We'll look ahead to next episode. And next week's theme is going to be comic book movies. Finally, after we did a comic book movie draft, this is a pretty big theme. I think a pretty popular theme, and we're finally going to be there at episode 18. So we already do have one pick on the board because Jordan's not here, but he sent us his selection, and he is going to be doing Watchmen.
Obviously.
Obviously, great movie. I know Jordan loves that movie. He put me on that. Great movie. Does anyone want to go first? Chase, raise your hand. There you go.
Yeah, it's time for me to watch it. I'm going Logan.
Oh wow.
Okay. We were talking about that earlier. Good choice.
Okay.
Let's go.
Christian?
You're gonna have to put me last then, because that was mine.
Okay.
That's why I
Jagger.
didn't want to go first because I wanted someone else to pick it first, or else that would have been mine.
Do you have one, Jagger?
Yeah. I want to go Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. I feel like I haven't seen it in a while. I think you guys just actually rewatched it recently, so that might not be a great pick. But I haven't seen it in a while, and only Across the Spider-Verse is on the platforms. I don't know why they're not putting Into on the platforms, but I need a rewatch.
Yes, I agree. Where the hell are we gonna watch that though? Where would we find it?
Prime, right there.
Oh, it's on Prime. Okay.
Probably. If it's not, I'll choose something else right now.
All right. I have a pick, Christian, if you're still looking.
Yeah, go for it.
I'm going to go with 1978 Superman, the original Superman, the one that started it all.
Dog.
Really started it all for the superhero franchise. Christopher Reeve, new Superman coming out this summer. Gene Hackman, Lex Luthor, Marlon Brando, Jor-El. Classic John Williams score. It's a classic. I know you guys haven't seen it, right? And I haven't seen it in a while. So I think good time to
That was on my list.
good time to bring it up.
No way someone's picking that. No way. No.
That's good.
I'm gonna go with Chronicle. I'm just kidding.
Does not count, but it's a
I'm
good
not-
movie.
I'm not going Chronicle. You know what? I'm gonna make this decision hard for you guys. I'm gonna go Across the Spider-Verse and see if we can choose both of them to watch in 1 week. We'll see what happens.
Okay. So the choices are Watchmen, Logan, Into the Spider-Verse, Across the Spider-Verse, and 1978 Superman. I'll start in the order that we picked movies. Chase, you have a vote?
I don't know what The Watchmen is. That's my problem.
Oh, it's so good.
Zack
All right.
Snyder, like DC.
If it's that good, I'll vote that. And
It's 5 hours long though. Just letting you know.
oh god.
It's actually
It's like
5.5.
It's like 2.5 hours.
And I'll vote Superman.
Sick. All right. Jagger.
I'll go with Logan and Superman.
Logan.
If Logan doesn't get picked, I'm gonna be fucking pissed.
I'm also gonna go Logan, and I'll go. I'll go Spider-Verse into the Spider-Verse.
I'm gonna go Logan so we can make that a done deal. And I'm gonna go Into the Spider-Verse.
All right. So Into and Superman are tied. Should I text Jordan right now? I don't know. He can spin a wheel.
I mean, you know what he's picking though. If you give him those two,
probably, yeah.
Give
I'll
him a,
spin
give him a
wheel.
call. Give him a call. Say these are the options.
Should I call him right now?
Yeah, give
if
him
you
a
pick
call.
Superman, I'll end it immediately.
My call on the show. By the way, technically, Old Boy was a manga, and I really thought about that.
Wow, I definitely would have picked that, but
Yeah. All right.
You should have picked that.
See the answers. I was thinking about it, but like I just watched it and I was like, I don't know if any of you guys would actually want to watch that. And I was like, comic books maybe go like more superhero.
That's at the top of my rewatch movies that I have to do.
So elite. All right. I don't think he's answering. I'm gonna start making a wheel.
That's fair.
We can cut here and come back. All right, so we did a little spin off camera, and between Superman Into the Spider-Verse, the wheel landed on Into the Spider-Verse. So maybe one of the best animated movies of all time, one of the best superhero movies of all time. We're gonna watch that alongside Logan. Really excited for you guys to finally see Logan. I know Chase and Christian haven't seen it, so should have a good week. Anything else left from you guys?
I'm good on
Or-
like prequels, right? I don't need to watch anything before Logan.
no,
You should be fine.
you're okay.
Okay.
Yeah, you'll still like it. All right. Remember to follow us on all social media, TikTok. Well, not all, we don't have a ton, but TikTok, Instagram. Subscribe to us on YouTube if you're listening on Spotify. If you're watching on YouTube, go listen to us. Go follow us on Spotify. Listen to us on a car ride or something. I don't know. At the Watch List Podcast on TikTok and Instagram. Just should be the Watch List on Spotify and YouTube. Mentioned now there's 17 episodes down. Got a lot of content out. Go check it out if you haven't already. And thanks for tuning in.
Sick.